22nd century discovery.
Hello and good evening for Thursday, May 23rd. I'm sorry. For Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. We have finished watching the 9th episode of Star Trek Discovery's 5th season, the penultimate episode of the entire series and the season, called Lagrange Point. But we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast for our live stream review here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. Or you might be listening to us on the audio version. I'm Dave Mader, here to break it all down to you tonight with a great panel. Once again, we have the great Ashley Millard with us.
Hello.
Hello and good evening. Once again, he has overcome his technical difficulties and he is ready to go. It's Adam Woodward.
Hey guys, and is the great Ashley Millard. I totally agree with that statement. And holy schmoodle.
And holy schmoodles. And here we go. Spoilers, if you haven't seen this episode yet today, it is brand new. And we are going to break it all down. With that said, let's get into it. So, like this episode written by Sean Cochran and Ari Friedman and directed by Jonathan Frakes, also known as Commander or Captain Riker from the Star Trek Next Generation series. But that's beside the point. There's a lot of suspense here. We have a bit of a heist episode, guys, where the Breen get to the progenitor tech thing faster, and then they have to break into the Breen ship and steal it, but it goes awry. And by the end of the episode, Maul and Captain Burnham and maybe a couple Breen are inside of this thing, and we're gonna have to try to get them out or something. That's kind of where we're left at. And Rayner finally sat in the chair. So those are the headlines coming in. Let's go to Ashley first. Ashley, how'd you enjoy this episode?
I really liked it. I was glad to have Saru back. It's nice to see him back. It was well paced. I think the action was good. I was pretty interested the whole time. I liked the story.
Yeah. Saru is on a shuttle, but to intercept the other Breen Primarch, who, the one that terrorized Rayner's family when he was young. Can't remember her name right now, but she sounds bad. Let's go over to Adam. Adam, what did you think of Lagrange Point?
I thought it was a great episode again. There was one thing that bothered me. We'll get to it. And Dave, you will not be surprised. Ashley, you may not missed a couple episodes with us, but look, you're right. The pacing was great. The story was very good tonight. The action was all well done. It looked like one thing about Discovery, I just can't. I'm always amazed how good it looks on screen. It just looks fantastic, So.
Yeah, the visual effects are always strong. I got my nitpicks here, but I mostly liked this episode. I thought, it was set up well for the finale, I think. Although I'm kind of I feel like there's a lot to do in this finale right now.
It's a Discovery way. They always do a lot in the last episode.
Yeah, I always kind of feel like this on the second to last episode. I'm like, how are they going to get to everything? That they've sort of introduced this season and wrap it all up in an hour or so. We'll see. I guess we got a week to find out. Next week I'll be doing the podcast remote from Brantford, so we'll see if that skews my opinion of it at all. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's remind ourselves of what happened in this episode. If you have a comment or question, anyone watching the live stream, let us know. Tell us what you thought of the episode. So we begin this episode at Federation headquarters as they are preparing to what's going. Oh yeah, well, we see Saru has come back from his mission to with the witches of Hocus Pocus 2, and he's back with flowers here for his Tarina, who meets him at the transporter pad, along with that aide who doesn't like him or doesn't like what it does to her political career or whatever. The flowers, are from the planet he was on. They're meant for, to be good luck for anybody getting married. But, she kind of informs Saru that, Discovery has been attacked by a Breen ship, and they're sort of under repair right now. So there's kind of this whole update that she's given. Then we kind of transition right into the Federation headquarters conference room, which President Rillick, her name, yeah, that's it. President Rillick is back from wherever she was at. I think she was at Teller. We were told that last time, and she is, dealing with the fallout of all this. The Breen Primarch, she's looking to take over the old dreadnought now that other Primarch guy is dead, and she's gonna try to absorb his army into hers. So that's currently the plan. There's all these attempts to hail that Primarch lady, but she's not answering on purpose. So this, not so much. It seems like Michael Chan, he got replaced by this guy though. What's up with that?
I was really hoping to see Michael up there tonight, but
yeah, I don't know. He must have got transferred. So
they're doing a lot. Like this, the Admiral Vance has barely been in it. We lost Detmer and the other helms person.
Washington.
Yeah. They were in for what, half an episode. So
they were only kind of in that one episode. I feel like.
Yeah, they're still bringing the other Enterprise back.
Yeah,
it's a slow ship.
No impulse drive.
Yeah, they can't go. It's gonna fly apart at the seams, so they can't do it. So in this meeting, they're trying to figure out
Captain.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what to do about this whole Breen threat. I don't think this is where they decide that Saru's gonna go. I feel like that comes in a later meeting. Okay, then we go to Discovery, Saru calls Burnham over the comm and tells her, hey, this is the situation with the Breen. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else specific here.
So basically, we got the whole Breen is all coming to gang up on Maul's ship.
Right. Yeah, that this is happening, and he kind of gives Burnham a heads up about this and says, "Be safe, Michael," because she's like, "Of course I will. I got to go to your wedding." So I'm assuming this wedding is going to be featured in the finale between Saru and I feel like that's what we're setting up for a while here. Then Burnham goes to talk to Rayner, who says that the repairs are almost done, but the spore drive not so much, and she kind of tells him about. I feel like I gotta learn this Brain's name. What's her name? Primarch Rune? No, that's the guy who died.
It starts with a T, I think.
Tahal.
That's right. Yeah, Tahal is coming, and we see that obviously Rayner has a reaction to that. So they head over to engineering with Stamets and them, who are trying to fix the spore drive. And she wants to get going. He's feeling like it won't be very precise in its accuracy. How imprecise. We see Book is helping to do repairs, even though he should be in sick bay, but he's okay. And Stamets wants another hour. He's not going to get it. These command officers, they just want to go. They have to get going. We see that Rayner and Burnham come to the bridge, and Tilly says, well, wherever we're jumping to, there seems to be a lot of gravimetric distortion, but so we got to be careful. So get ready for a bumpy ride as we go to black alert, and they've cloaked the ship. They're going to the spot with the Pretender's check, which is basically where this episode entirely takes place in this place. So they're in the halo of a black hole here, and it's going a little rough for them. They're trying to kind of navigate through this, where Tilly reveals, hey, it's not just one black hole, it's two black holes. And she's like, that's very interesting. That's so interesting. She gets a little sciencey about it, which I enjoyed. And they're trying to kind of figure out how to fly through this as they're flying away from these two black holes, which I think, speaking to the visual effects, I thought this did look really good as well. I watched that Beetlejuice trailer today. I don't know if anyone saw that yet. But there's a shot. There's one of the visual effects I thought looked so bad with this plane flying through the air. I don't know if you check out that Beetlejuice trailer. Not so good, but this looks good.
So Dave, this is actually in Celestial Mechanics at Lagrange Point is I'm just trying to points of equilibrium for small mass objects under the gravitational influence of two massive orbiting bodies. So this is a real thing.
Right. And yeah, I guess it's that sort of sweet spot in between these two massive gravimetric things, in this case, two black holes, but I don't think it has to be two black holes. And I guess there's that perfect gravimetric equilibrium sort of in the middle. And that's kind of where this little device has been stashed 800 years prior by that team of scientists who set this all up, who originally found the progenitor tech during the Dominion War period. You see, there's the Lagrange point of the two black holes. And then we see that they're able to kind of, they say they can't actually scan it, but they're close enough that they can see it. And that it's not a piece of debris that's kind of floating there in the black hole's wake. And they can't scan it. It's made of duratanium or something like that. And they can't get through. So they're checking it out. They're looking at it. They're talking quite a bit about it. Right. Woof, woof. But then, guess who shows up? That Breen ship, Maul and the big dreadnought, and they just grab the thing, and they say, "Well, maybe we can like try to beam it away, or we can decloak." And I just love how Raiders like, "Yeah, we're too late." I was like, "You guys, you spent a lot of time talking."
Didn't we have time last week?
We had lots of time.
They were supposed to be there, I think, at least an hour ahead of these guys, and
they tried. They were
tried.
having trouble. Were having trouble at the beginning of the episode fixing the ship up.
They had to fix the ship after the last jump. Yeah. So that was part of what had to happen. So, they kind of yada that part. The other thing that Saru mentions in his chat with Burnham is that the Breen ship is in a trans warp corridor that they got there very fast. I was like, how did they get there so much faster than Discovery? Considering Discovery has this spore drive, and I thought that the Breen ship just had traditional warp drive, but they apparently have trans warp, which is much faster. That's like usually only used by the Borg, but here in the 31st century, they seem to at least have access to a corridor of it, and that's how they got here fast. So this is kind of like the whole setup. And Burnham says, we got to get that back. We're going to get it. We're going to get back that item. And that is basically our teaser for the episode. Setting up this heist episode. Like we mentioned the writers and Frakes who directed it. After that, we have a conference room here in the ready room talking about the device itself and how they're going to, the size of it being like a small shuttle, that there's a kind of an entry port that you can put that all the clues that they've been assembling this whole season that have now formed this key can go into this hole. But they need to get the device back. And I think it's Adira who comes up with the idea of going to get it or to beam it out of there. Which Stamets, was impressed with, when she presents this plan. And then I get this, basically they cook up the heist of it all in this whole scene, right? How they're going to go into the Breen ship through the exhaust port, and they're going to get on the bridge and pretend they're Breen and take down the shields. And there's a lot of skepticism, from Book and some others. What are you talking about?
I like that you referenced a heist, because there's so many movies where they basically, okay, this is what we'll do, and then they show the scene. We'll beam onto the bridge, and then there they come. And
it never works that way.
Yeah. But it was good. It was a good little storytelling.
Right. So we see here that Adira wants to, part of this mission will involve hacking into the Breen systems, and Adira is apparently the best qualified to do this. So, but Stamets and Tilly vouches for Adira. That they can do it, but we see it. I don't have a great screenshot, but Stamets is not too happy about this. He doesn't want her to go on the mission. He's a protective parent. What can you do?
Kind of the problem of having your daughter part of the part of the senior staff, I guess, because she really is.
Once you're in space together, you're at risk. In general, it's kind of just the nature of being in space. You can try to minimize that by going on fewer dangerous missions, I guess. But it's, I don't know. Anytime you're on a starship in Starfleet, you better not feel too safe, I guess, is what I'm thinking. We also see here that because Burnham and Book are going to be one of the teams, and Adira and Commander Reese are going to be the other team, that we see here that Rayner decides to make Tilly the first officer, the acting first officer, while they're all off ship, which Tilly seems a bit surprised by, but she kind of goes with it. And so they keep cooking up this plan, how they're going to disguise themselves as Breen to go over there.
This is great. This is a great scene.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hey, can I ask you a question, guys? Like, how do you feel about Rayner's like evolution since the beginning? Like right now, he was. I think he's always like Tilly, but really come around.
Yeah, I'm coming around on him for sure.
Oh.
He was a little playful in this episode. He cracked some jokes.
He did. He's loosening up. I think that he was like that kind of curmudgeon-y guy who's learned the power of love, but not too much.
Well, at the same time, no wonder though they took away his ship, make him first officer to his nemesis, and
he's rolling with it. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he is rolling with it.
He's trying to make the best of it. But his personality is just inherently different than the rest, which I like. So he's coming around. I don't know what else they're talking about, like in this. Oh yeah. So then we actually go to Maul and on the Breen ship in the next scene. And she puts the key in here. She's with her lieutenant guy. But of course they're not going to go in themselves. They have to get some, Breen, stooge to be the guy to do this. Do this for your, what do they call the Scion? Do it for the Scion, right? So they put it in. They don't even she doesn't even put it in herself. She gets him to do it, which I thought was fun. And this big portal opens up inside of this device. It's seemingly to go to another dimension, although that's all we kind of know right now.
Walk into the light, Carol-Ann.
Yeah. Go into the light. You have your orders. We're not going in. You're the guy. You're the Breen guy who got tapped for this. Okay, sure. And he goes, but he gets sucked in, and I was like, I guess he's dead, but maybe not, because obviously Maul and Burnham go into this thing as well by the end, and I presume they're not going to die when they go into this, but we'll see. So I don't know. Obviously, we see a couple of Breen scientists. Apparently, the science division of the Breen always wear the Breen emblem here on their chests. So, uniform cannon. Remember. And then we have this sort of side scene here where Maul decides she needs to put Locke's body into basically a portable transporter buffer because to prevent his body from decomposing, and I guess so she can take his body with her by the end, when she goes into the portal later on. So I think they're setting this up, saying that she will bring him back to life. That we kind of known this is where this is headed for a while. If he didn't come back to life at this point, I'd be shocked. So it seems predestined. He will be risen. Then there's a goodbye scene here between the fam with Culber and Stamets and Adira. Obviously, Stamets the most nervous, but Adira beams out, and then there's sort of Culber comforting Stamets. It's going to be okay.
He'll be just fine,
or not. She might die, but we'll see. Yeah. Back on the bridge, there's this whole kind of scene here about how Rayner won't sit in the chair, and it's Lieutenant Christopher. That's this guy, right? Talking to Tilly about it, which will lead into the later scene. But yeah, we all notice he never sits in the chair, or very, very little bit. And this is something apparently a problem they feel like they need to solve. I wish they had this scene in Enterprise, quite frankly, about Archer.
Let's get him in the chair and strap him down.
Yeah, where's that when I need it?
The captain's chair. You may have noticed that I don't sit in it very much.
Well,
Nor
his
does-
was uncomfortable.
Trip tried to make it the best chair ever. Anyway, so we see that the ship, the shuttle leaves Discovery, like the cloak Discovery, and they're on their way here. That they're going to fly into the exhaust port, which apparently Adira didn't know about this part of the plan, which was to fly into 3,000 Kelvin temperatures. So they're going through. It's really hot. They have 60 seconds before like the shields will give out and they'll just be burned up. But Adira's like, we can't beam in now. There's 2 Breen guards there, and they're not moving, but they don't really have a choice. They're out of time at this point, so they put their helmets on and they beam into the Breen ship.
Even Book said this scene was insane, or that
Yeah.
to do this was insane.
Yes, this was an aggressive plan, but it works. And they're immediately confronted by these 2 Breen guards who are speaking all Breen to them, and they're waiting for their translators, I guess, to catch up. There's some awkwardness.
We're gonna be Moth here. What did you think about them in the helmets, like that shot from? There you go. That one.
Yeah, well, it's like the Iron Man thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yes, it is. Yeah.
It's fine. I think they used it a lot in the episode because I get that they want to show the actor's face and have that emote, and that's kind of I think why they did this back in Iron Man and the Avengers, and it works. It's the best way to tackle a character with a helmet on all the time, but at the same time
I think it's necessary when you have so many characters wearing the same.
It's hard to tell them apart inside these suits in particular.
Like Tony Stark was the only Iron Man. It really wasn't that necessary, but
when he was the only one, not so much. But then you don't see it would just be Robert Downey Jr. always doing a voiceover, they're like, we can't have that. We have to have him, So basically, Burnham talks her way out of the situation by saying, just insulting the Breen. We're also told the Breen are absolutely hierarchical. They so as long as you pretend like you outrank somebody, it's pretty easy to convince them to get out of there. You dishonor yourself. You sign would be disgusted. Go conduct your patrol. Reese is impressed. Don't discuss your scion, according to Michael Burnham. And we had this shot here where all 3 of them at once, like that was different. Like, yes, Captain. Good job, Captain. Anyway. Then at Federation headquarters, they're still trying to contact that what's her name? Tahal, the Breen Primarch, and no answer still. They're like, maybe we should send a ship to meet them. Well, that could be an act of war. We can't risk a war. Well, maybe we can send a shuttle. Which President Rillick is down for, but she's like, it could be a suicide mission. If they misinterpret the shuttle, they could just blow it up. And whoever this was this command division officer that's president says, you can't go, President Rillick. If something bad happens, then you have to be here to coordinate the war effort. So Saru kind of volunteers for this. Tarina not super thrilled, but understands he's the best person for this, considering Discovery's his old ship, and he's capable of doing it. So back to the Breen ship. This is Book and Burnham. They're going along. They run into this guy. Oh yeah, these kids. There's much to celebrate, and they're like, "Well, we'll see you at the party." We're getting, I guess, these Breen social interactions. And they're trying to figure it out. What his book says something like xenoanthropology, the gift that keeps on giving, or something like that. Then there's this whole I was watching this with Jane. It kind of bugged me a little bit when I watched it the first time. It really bugged her, where Burnham's like, well, I had a whole awakening in the last episode, a revelation about everything that's been going on with me, and I need to tell you, Book.
Timing.
She even says this isn't the best timing, but let's have this conversation now.
Oh, come on. Like, this was ridiculous. I was loving this episode until here, and then it just put me off.
Yeah. I don't have that's all my screenshots. Yeah, but it was like they were talking about, she was her fear of not proving herself, everything that kind of was set up in the last episode. And Book,
she's so breathless. And Book, yeah.
Like, it's all like I feel like you could have still had this scene probably before they went on the mission, but they decided to do it during the mission.
You know what would have made it even better if they were touching helmets and talking or something.
I could be down for that. And the Book's like, you're right. I've been doing the same thing. I've been running away from my problems. It's been easier not to to deal with it head on. And so I guess they're in a good place by the end of this conversation, which is great.
That's the point right there.
Yeah. Then the Breen patrol moves on. Then we go back to Maul, who has the transporter buffer thing here with Locke. Reese is on the bridge with Adira. Maul's here, he says. And then they notice that there's the guy with the lowest ranking guy is present. I don't know if I have a shot of him. I did. I thought. Oh, there it is. Yeah, because they see that the symbol on his arm indicates he's the lowest ranking person. But like they don't have any symbols on their arms. I was like, so it's like I don't know how he knows that they'll rank him, other than they're just mean when they show up. And they say, "Hey, and I did like Adira's like always picking on the ensign." That was a good line. But hey, get out of here! Get out of your station. We're gonna fix it, and don't you come back until it's fixed. And then this guy just leaves. Maul kind of notices them, but kind of ignores it. And then Adira kind of gets to work here as she's hacking into the system. Back on Discovery, we got Raynor and Tilly and all them, and they're kind of talking to the team. Is our cloak still working? 100%, Commander. I guess that's Linus's job. Just make sure the cloak's working. And then this is the whole conversation here between Tilly and Raynor, where she's like, "Hey, guess what? We all believe in you, and we thought you were a bit of a jerk at first, but Captain believes in you, and so do us, and you can sit in the chair and all that." And he's like, "I'll sit in it if I feel like sitting in it," And she tries to be encouraging. He was like, "You know why I picked you as first officer? You're smart and you're good, and if we were to foxhole, I wouldn't kill you unless you're giving me some of that warm and fuzzy encouragement I don't need." That was good. And then Tilly smiles. It was a good reaction there between them.
Oh, you like me.
Oh, you like yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that was like a scene where Raider really grew on me. I was like, this guy, like Saru would never say that, right? Because that just wouldn't be his personality. Back on the Breen, Burnham. Oh yeah, so they got to get into the room with the progenitor device. So they watch this Breen scientist go in, who's able to get through with the helmet. And Book says, "Do you think we can get through with our replicated helmets? Let's try." So Book goes up, tries to get in, doesn't. It's denied. You're not clear for entry. Get out of here. We were told to report here. You were told wrong, the Breen says. Once again, Captain Burnham gets in there and they start yelling. They basically start an argument. I feel like this maybe goes back to their courier days. This seems like an old move they probably did. Maybe not just as Breen.
This is Thor Ragnarok, when Thor and Loki start fighting when they come out of the elevator to do the distraction.
Right.
Do you know what scene I'm talking about? That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it totally is. And so basically they get into this fight, but then they just turn on the two guards and they start beating up the two guards, and they unplug one of their refrigeration tubes and take them out, and then they use his helmet to scan and get into the room. So they're in now. But meanwhile, like Maul is sending in another Breen soldier who's been tethered to the ground here, so that they can be brought back. Which Maul told the lieutenant guy, "Get your best soldier, send him in." And he gets sucked in and he's gone. The rope is the tether is completely taken off in that moment. And Book and Burnham are getting closer by this point, trying to figure out what to do. They see this other device over there, and then so Burnham goes over there to reconfigure it, and then I think Book starts flirting with his Breen guard, like, "Hey, maybe we can go to the party together or whatever." And the Breen guard's like, "Hey," it was kind of this was funny. I don't know, where he's like, Book's like, "This is getting weird," with this guy. I'm like, these Breen, they're very social. These Breen, for this warlike race that has such a reputation, they're big on inviting people to parties, as long as they're Breen, I guess. Anyway, it was kind of fun stuff here with them. I was thinking we could go on this together. Anyway, I've kind of summed all this up, but Then we're back with Adira and Reese, who are getting in. They're being successful here. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what the details were of the next moment here. Is this where like they realize that there's a lockdown? I think this is where they realize that the guards that Book and Burnham took down are missing, and that they should probably lock down the system and reassign the credentials. But before we come back to that action, we had a scene here with Saru and Tarina. Saru was looking at all the intel on Tahal. Sorry, I'll learn her name eventually. You know, this whole thing where Saru's about to go on the mission. They have a whole conversation here about
It's not logical for you to tell me you're coming back.
Yeah, so just tell me you'll try. I did like how he said, like, you know, Vulcans aren't the only species capable of like putting their emotions aside and using logic. You know, and she goes touche or something like that. But you know, he's going on this dangerous mission. Are they going to kill Saru? Is that where this is headed? Like, you know, is he not coming back from this mission? Is that the great tragedy? I don't know.
I feel like somebody's going to be missing next week. Like somebody's going to die.
We got to lose somebody, you know, in this finale.
Well, maybe.
Maybe I don't know. Like, we'll see. You know, it's just sort of like, I'll never have to wear this makeup again if I die. You know, so maybe that will go. Anyway, he leaves. Back at the Breen, Burnham's still trying to hack the system. Rayner trying to figure out what to do. We need to get in there. Sorry, guys. I'm missing the beats here. Exactly what was being said at this stage of the episode. But Maul is, you know, she's on her mission.
Well,
Is
so
this
this
where
is
Rayner decides to hail, right?
Yeah, she was leaving the bridge to go somewhere, and you know they didn't want her to leave.
They didn't want her to leave. So yeah, so Rayner decides to hail the Breen ship and say, "Hey, I'm here. We're not dead, but the captain is dead." You know, which you know she'll find out is a lie pretty shortly after.
But what was interesting here is like this is about the most emotion we've seen with Maul, other than when Locke died. You know.
Yeah, you know I don't know. Like I'm still not a fan of this character. You know?
I get it, Dave. But she, you know, that face right there, she had a different look than her usual sourpuss face.
She's going from one-dimensional to almost two-dimensional for me, but like, you know, it's we only got one episode left, and I feel like the progression, her arc, if you want to call it that, has been kind of slow for me. But you know, anyway, that's my gripe. So oh yeah, they put the transporter thing on the progenitor device. And they're getting ready to get out of here, but then they're kind of confronted by Maul's guards who have them at gunpoint. And then Maul takes off the device, tells them to take off their helmets. And you know, she says to Burnham, "You look pretty good for a dead person." But Maul doesn't want to kill them. Maul wants to put them in the brig and then drop them off somewhere. So
she's not gone full evil here yet.
No, she's willing to be slightly sparing. Although they've killed other people along the way. Anyway.
But do you think that's because like she knows the wrath of Starfleet, or she's actually got some morals?
Maybe she's got some morals. Like, do you have an opinion, Ashley? Like on Maul, and like, is she what her ethics are?
I think she has morals, and I think we're gonna see Locke come back next episode, and the two of them are going to turn around.
They're going to turn it around. They're going to start living a straight life.
Or is that
there's going to be something. They're going to do something where they help out the Federation, or the Federation helps them, and they're no longer like they're
no longer Bonnie and Clyde.
The bad guy. Like I feel like they're going to somehow turn around Locke and Maul, and they're not going to be the bad guys anymore next episode.
Do you think that Book is the like the linchpin in that because of the relationship with the father? Or?
Maybe. I think Burnham's gonna play the biggest role because she's the one that's been dealing with him the whole time.
Right. Well, Book has the biggest connection, like, this family connection. She even says, "Did your mentor teach you that?" or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
They don't let that go. Like every episode, there's
Yeah.
something about that.
yeah. So
He
it has
may-
to play into the end. But
He may say something that like tugs on her heartstrings. Like he may reveal something about her dad that turns it around. at
turns
the
her
last
around,
minute.
and
I
then
don't know.
she'll be good
Yeah.
all of a sudden. Okay. Well, hopefully. Anyway, so is this where like Rayner comes up with this plan? He's like, we need to ram their ship and get into their shuttle bay and save the captain. I think this is where he cooks up this plan, and the whole crew, like Tilly was the best in this. She was like, "Oh my god, what are we doing?
Holy
What's happening?"
schmoodle.
Holy
Holy
schmoodle. Yeah, like she was the best here. As and Rayner was great, so commanding. Like I was like this, I was like, Riker taught him how to do this, I think.
And he calls up Stamets. You've got 2 minutes to figure out how to get us in there.
How to get us in there. Culber shows up here with Stamets. He's like, "Are we really doing this?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. It's theoretically possible if we come in at a certain
Math
angle."
doesn't lie, Dave.
The math doesn't lie. Don't worry about it. So yeah, and they basically ram at this with all their weapons firing at this massive Breen ship. And come in here. And meanwhile, I guess Book and Burnham are fighting their own fight here on the ship, trying to do what they can. Yeah, this is where Stamets is like, well, if we come in at the 30-degree angle,
32.5,
and our deflector is a certain way, it will work theoretically, and we'll maintain structural integrity. I thought they also could have maybe just jumped inside the ship with the spore drive, but maybe not. This is where the math doesn't lie. Adira drops the shields at the right moment. Yes. Oh yeah. And this is where Reese decides to go into the fight mode and buy some time here. So Reese is in the fight, and then they beam them out. Just as Discovery's about to crash into it here. But just then, this is also the moment Maul decides to go into the portal, and she goes in. So Maul goes in first. Somehow Burnham gets around that lieutenant guy, and she gets right there too.
A longing look to Book.
A longing look to Book. No, don't do it. And she's like, I'm doing it. And she goes in. So we'll catch up with her later. But he's, Book is still there. Discovery crashes in. Now, one thing I thought was interesting is that, like, the nacelles aren't attached, and they've actually moved position here, like to go sort of behind the saucer section, instead of their normal position. So that was a little interesting.
I love that you get the real scale of that dreadnought again when you.
Yeah, how much bigger it is than Discovery.
Yeah.
It's big, and Discovery's not even a small ship. Like Discovery's considerably longer than like the 1701 Enterprise and whatever. And how many Breen died in this ramming move that they did here? Like I thought we saw quite a few Breen bodies. And, like I don't know,
Well,
probably
they'd all get sucked out.
Yeah, maybe they wouldn't die with their refrigeration suits. I can't be sure. But,
so this scene was a little bit like it was good, but I think we missed something because all of a sudden Book's on board. We didn't see him beam out of there, and
I think we see it very quickly. But yeah, like we at least see Reese and Adira get beamed out, and then
how come they couldn't get that thing?
They were like, I don't know, they couldn't lock onto it or something.
Like I think they needed like an explanation here. Like we can't lock on or we can't get it.
Yeah, and it just keeps going towards the black holes here, and then it kind of explodes or something and becomes this whole like vortex thing, is seemingly a wormhole or a portal of some kind. Book reveals no, Burnham is not gone because they can't find her on scans. She's there. She's on the ship.
And he changed really quickly, eh?
Yeah, he got out of his Breen suit really quickly. Yeah, he did. And yeah, so Rayner says, we got to do something, guys. We got to get in there. We got to save our captain. There she is. That's our mission. We got to get in there. And he says, we're going to do it. No, there is no margin for error. And he even does the Picard maneuver here does the tuck on the tunic. You gotta think that was Frakes who told him to do that, right? Like, just when you sit down. I bet it was. I bet just when you sit down. I forget this actor's name right now, but he's number 2 from Battlestar. But yeah, he does the tuck and then he sits in the chair and he's ready to, I don't know, do command the mission. And here we go into the finale. That's the episode. So I don't know, like good action, good beats. I got my nitpicks, but largely I liked it.
So this episode was the shortest episode of the season. So we mentioned early on it felt fast. It was fast. It was 46 minutes and 57 seconds.
I think they should make all the episodes that long.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like some of these episodes really do go drag, you know, especially when I'm doing the screenshots and most of the scenes are just like sort of longing looks, you know.
Well, if
Yeah.
it's Book and Burnham together, you're going to have that. This is Jonathan Frakes' 31st Star Trek directing credit. 31st. He's done 31st, 33. So
including the movies.
Including the movies. And this is his 8th episode of Discovery.
8th episode of Discovery. Okay, well, yeah, he did that stormy weather episode. Sorry, I'm having some lighting issues here, guys. Stormy weather.
And there's a discussion around whether the vulnerability of the unshielded exhaust port is a reference to the Death Star from Star Wars. I hate when they do crossover stuff like the Star Wars. I don't like that.
Oh, I know. You guys don't even like the Breen helmet from D Space Nine because it's too much like the something helmet from Star Wars.
Princess Leia. Yeah, Princess Leia.
Bosk?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why won't this work? Sorry, guys. I'm so dark.
So I guess that scene where Book was talking to that one. Sorry for the dogs, guys.
It's okay.
Saying that the Breen are polyamorous, like denobulans, and they like to relax with oil baths.
They do?
Okay.
I didn't hear that in this episode, but apparently this is another part of the discussion going on.
I want to see what it's like at the Breen mess hall. Like, do they take off those masks to eat, or what? Like,
well,
what
the
happens?
only one we've seen with a mask off is Locke.
And his uncle, briefly.
Oh yeah, we saw him off. That's right. Yeah,
but he put it right back on.
And then there's also again a pretty interesting scene between Burnham and Rayner when they were talking in code. And you have to have a good history with somebody and a good understanding to have that. And it's interesting they already have that in like 7 episodes or whatever, how long they've been together. But all in all, it was a good episode.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
do we have any more trivia from this episode?
I don't have too much. No.
Yeah, it's always hard on these same day reveals. Well, maybe since we haven't gone super long tonight, but it's a short episode, so it was quicker to get through it. So maybe we can get into our ratings. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this looking good. All right, let's get this going. So
Okay, before we go, can I?
Yep.
And we do have a bit of time. Do you want any? Like, I believe we're gonna have a major character die next week. Anybody else? Like, I'd love to know who you think.
Michael Burnham would be my most obvious choice because.
So I'm marking this down. Dave says Michael Burnham.
You think they'll kill the captain?
No, but yes, I don't know. I just feel like that's always been Michael's story is that, or maybe she will choose not to sacrifice herself and that will be her arc and growth, because she's just from the very beginning of the show, that has sort of been her thing is that she's going to go head first into it. She's going to put herself on the line. She's going to, despite what anybody else says, whatever she's ordered to do, whatever, and maybe will be a difference there, but just from that aspect of her personality, I would say that she's got a very high potential of sacrificing herself. What is going on in my so
what do you think, Ashley?
I don't think they're going to kill anyone.
Okay, no deaths. Got it.
Maybe Rayner.
We wouldn't care about that though.
What the hell is that? Okay, I gotta get this.
Why wouldn't you care about that? We just got to know him.
Yeah, that's why I don't think if they're going to kill someone in the finale episode, like the series finale, I don't think they're going to kill a brand new character because who cares?
Okay.
What's the point in killing someone that we don't care about?
True.
Okay, well then, what character could they kill that we would care the most about?
For me, who I'd care most about?
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe Tilly.
I would care most about Tilly because I'm still hoping that it's going to get announced that Tilly shows up for Academy.
Academy, yeah.
Yeah. What if they killed Book?
I think that's where it's going to happen. I think that Book is going to somehow bridge the gap between Maul and Locke. That, in my mind, that's where they're going, and he's going to bring.
Or yeah, like would that be the tragedy here? Like if Book sacrifices himself to save the day, just when Michael was willing to sort of.
Yes, thank you. You're even telling the story even better now.
Yeah, but I don't. But I don't. Why bring in that piece of route that he has that he could potentially bring his planet back with if they're going to kill him?
Maybe he's going to pass it to Maul.
Maybe you need to go start the new Qui-Gon Mall, or maybe they're going to go off and start a new Qui-Gon together. By the
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like they've got to do something big, and maybe Saru's the person. I'd be bothered if Saru died.
Yeah.
Saru, yeah, like I would be sad if they killed him, especially he seems like he's got a good desk job at Federation headquarters. And
I feel like their wedding is going to be the finale, like
you're probably right. You're probably
scene,
right.
because that is what's going to bring everyone together to do this big grand series finale scene. I don't know. They don't always. I don't think they need to kill people. I think we learned from the Enterprise finale that it's a terrible idea.
I'm not saying it has to happen, but I feel like it might. And Adira would be the other one I would be bothered by. I like her. She's grown on me a lot.
Like they almost set that up. Remember, like was it 2 seasons ago where they were gonna make Stamets mad at Burnham, right, for sending either Adira or Culber into a dangerous situation. It was like I think it was at the end of season 3. And it was like Stamets was going to plot against her, but then they completely dropped that when they got to season 4.
Well, that was good. They did, because that would have been silly.
That would have been silly, yeah.
But yeah, but since Gray is out of the picture, I really do like Adira. I think she's coming to a good crew member.
Yeah, but like if Adira gets killed and then Stamets and Culber are broken because of that, or something. I don't know.
I really don't. I just hope that at the end of it they don't say, let's. Second star that away kind of that ending, and maybe that can be fun too.
Well, yeah, I like it would be interesting. Like, I think by the next episode, we'll be saying like, how do we compare this finale to other Star Trek finales?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would love to the other thing that it'd be kind of interesting to go back now and also take a look at all the Jonathan Frakes episodes and the ones he's directed, and to see
Dave
how
the Rave.
Is Dave the Rave? Yes.
Yes. This happened last week too, Ashley. You weren't here for it.
I haven't fixed it. Hold on.
Here you go. Unplug it. This is exactly the same as last week.
There we go. Okay, I'll work on that later. I got to get connected to my Alexa system again. It's been independent, and I've had to. I got to work on it. I need to get Stamets, or I need to get Jet Reno on the situation here. I was missing Jet Reno in this episode too. I was like, they go to engineering quite a few times. I was like, where's Jet Reno?
Well, she was in last week quite a bit, and
I know. So she probably.
But she has to finish this season with next week. Hope she's in it.
Oh, I think. Do you think we'll see like a Warshikhan and Detmer at least? For the finale,
limping in with the Enterprise.
So.
Yeah, I would hope so, right?
You missed the wedding. Your Enterprise was too slow.
Yeah, we just got here. We've been traveling for 7 episodes from wherever. Anyway, yeah, that'll be something. Okay, well, we'll see how it all plays out. Okay, let's get into the ratings then. I liked this more than last week, mostly because it was shorter. I'm giving it a 9. Okay, Adam?
I'm going to give it 8.5.
And Ashley?
I'm a 9 as well.
I've enjoyed your company as always, but it appears that it's time we said goodbye.
Not yet, Gold Ducat. It's not time to end the show yet. All right. He's always trying to say goodbye. Okay, let's see what IMDb is saying so far. Well, we are at 6.7 right now with 156 votes.
They're very hard on this series.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a contingent of people who go out of their way to like give every episode a 1 and don't even watch it. You know, like that has to be the case.
They're so pissed off from season 1 and 2. You know,
I feel like or they just like. And every time I go to IMDb, there's some kind of like an angry review, or something, but how they don't like it. So anyway.
Can you just sorry, I've got lots of questions tonight, but can you show us all the Riker episodes? A very good quick filter there.
Yeah, hold on. Let me take it down while I do that. Okay, one sec. I gotta figure out how to turn the filter on. Create filter view. It's the web version, you know. So
yeah, okay, harder to work with.
Clear, and I need all the Frakes episodes. Jonathan Frakes, where are you? There you go. Oh, okay. So, these are all the Frakes episodes. We have Despite Yourself from season 1, episode 10. He did two episodes in season 2, New Eden and Project Daedalus. Season 3, he did 3 episodes. I feel like this was a trend. In season 3, he did 3 episodes. People of Earth, The Sanctuary, and There Is a Tide. And then season 4, he did Stormy Weather. And then this season, he did Lagrange Point.
I really want to go back and take a look at those episodes because I wonder if they're just better because
Stormy weather.
Remember that one?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. That was
Dave and Michael didn't like New Eden very much.
Dave did not like New Eden very much, but Dave disliked Project Daedalus even more.
Yeah, but you very much liked People of Earth.
I liked People of Earth, which is season 2. I most of my ratings are pretty low.
Yeah, I know you didn't like season 2.
I didn't like season 2. I liked Pike. That's about my favorite part of season 2. But the storyline and a lot of the characters and whatever, it was not for me. And I thought that they were in this prequel territory that I just think wasn't working for the show they wanted to make. And I was glad when they did the time jump to the 32nd century. I think it was because that's what the show wants to be. It wants to be the progressive version of Star Trek. So go to the future. Go do it.
Yeah.
Don't to try to do it in Kirk's time is kind of not the right setting. And anyway, and so then there's Tide, Stormy Weather, Lagrange Point. Anyway, so
Stormy Weather is like the lowest IMDb one, 5.1.
It has a low rating. It did at the time at least.
Yeah.
5.1. I wonder if I look that up now, what it would be. Has it changed since?
I don't know, but they started stronger, like 7.7, 7.7, 7.8.
Yeah, they did start stronger. I don't know. I'm always trying to do this on the fly. See, what season is it? 4. Have you guys gone back to watch any of the early episodes? You know, and
I rewatched season 1 not that long ago, and then a few episodes of because I was trying to get Kevin to finally watch season 2, and we watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then he lost interest.
But the last 4 are really good. Like that.
It's gone up to a 5.5, guys. Stormy Weather.
Oh.
Now with almost 2,000 votes, but it didn't change too much.
Stormy weather.
Anyway, we're at an 8.8 tonight, guys. That's pretty good. Murphy not with us, nor is Michael Chan. But let's just looking ahead to the finale. It's called Life Itself. Seems a little on the nose.
It's a good title for the season.
Do we know who directed it?
Yeah, the same one who directed the first episode of this season.
So okay, it's like things I think will happen. Locke will be brought back to life. They're going to use that world tree root thing to bring back some version of Qui-Gon, with or without Book. We'll see how that plays out. Maybe a character dies, maybe not. Doesn't have to. But what else? Like what once they have this progenitor attack, is it just gonna be like we brought Qui-Gon back? Is that really like the big payoff here, or
like what does happen? Like, I mean, how are they just going to leave it? Is this just business as usual, and we'll see you again?
yeah, I'm trying to speculate where they're going with this once we get inside this portal. Once they have this technology, what does it mean? What is the and I feel like we can't even really find out because we only have one episode left.
Michael Burnham will wake up and it was all a dream.
God.
She'll be back at the Battle of the Binary Stars again, and she won't do a mutiny. Actually, that can't do that. That would completely change her story. I don't know.
And it would nullify Strange New Worlds.
It would actually, yeah. It would,
Oh, good point. Okay,
can't have that. Can't have that. Will we see Spock in this finale?
No.
I don't think so either. Do you think Michael Burnham will ever show up on Strange New Worlds?
No.
I hope not.
Yeah. So that's over.
Like, that's the only thing that I wonder is, are they going to go back in time to where they started?
No, I don't think that they will.
No, because I think it would change everything.
I feel like they've settled into this new century. I feel like they've spent more time in this century than they did in their original century. So it's I think that they're probably not going to do that.
Check out Mr. Gross
on the show, yeah.
What does he say? Riker yells, "End program," and walks off. That's awesome.
That's awesome. We'll write that one down.
End program.
That's why he couldn't direct it. That's why he had to direct this one, because he's starring in the next one.
As the chef.
Riker dies.
Riker dies.
I had that on a key. Is it? What? Or is nothing working?
Our little secret.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Well, that's it for tonight, guys. I think we'll be back for the finale on next Thursday, which I said I'll be doing remote. Also, in case you didn't know, we're starting our Star Trek: The Next Generation podcast on Tuesday with Encounter at Farpoint. Go check it out.
Dave, are we doing the 2 episodes?
Yeah, we're doing the 2-parter.
Okay.
So you'll need to watch both parts before the review.
Again.
I don't know how recently you've watched it, but
I wonder what happens.
Yeah, like it's a weird episode. I gotta say, it's a weird premiere.
It is,
but it largely works for me still, because there are some things with like Picard and Data and some of the characterizations that just are always the same. And things like there are things in that first episode that will carry through all the seasons into the movies. So,
we got Q out of it too, and we got that wonderful, sausage separation, sausage separation,
which made no sense. It doesn't even make sense in the episode. Like, why are we doing this? Like, so we can get away from Q.
And then anyway. They were like, it cost how much? Never do that again.
No, don't do that again. But I was watching it with Jane the other night, and I was like, "What's this about?" And she's like, "Don't you criticize this? This is perfect. This is perfect Star Trek." So
the Groppler Zorn.
Yeah, exactly. That guy, the Bandy, is that what they're called?
The Bandy.
Anyway, yeah. So look out for that on Tuesday. I think we're supposed to start the Orville also on Monday, but that. Oh, did you talk to Jody about that, or
he's going on Monday?
We're going ahead. Okay, so we are starting that Monday. Look out for that. And yeah, we just finished Deep Space Nine. If you want to hear what we thought about Deep Space Nine, we just reviewed every single episode and then some. And we also did the original series in the past as well. So we've talked about a lot of Star Trek episodes, and we have other podcasts here, different debates, trivias, just intellectual sort of discussions about the grander meaning of Star Trek. So go check out all those things here in the Live Long and Podcast family, all kinds of different podcasts all the time, as well as our affiliates in the United Federation of Podcasts, including the Super Mater Brothers podcast, which just wrapped up the Survivor 46 finale last night. I was on until 12:30 in the morning with Jaemeel Robinson and Jason Phillips talking about the Survivor finale. If you haven't found out who won, I won't tell you. And then X-Rated on tonight, not Tuesdays, with Andre and Davin talking X-Men, the animated series, X-Men 97, X-Men movies, anything with X-Men, they're going to probably talk about it. Andre also does graphic histories. Hold Up coming this Monday, which is double booked Adam for the Orville podcast. So he'll be over there.
Yeah, we've got The Boy, Stand By Me, and Sandlot, which I had just watched for the first time last weekend, guys.
The Sandlot?
What's the category?
Boyhood, coming of age movies or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. Did you like The Sandlot?
I liked the first half, I think, and then it got kind of boring.
You sort of trailed off. Yeah. Okay.
I did like the first half, and I think the ending was good too. It was just for 20 minutes towards the end where got a little bit tired.
20 years and I'm still salty about Enterprise's ending. Yeah.
Who isn't Mystic Wolf?
Yeah. Go check out my review. I spent like at least 10 minutes in that podcast.
He was the best. It was one of his best episodes, Dave.
I was like, my 5-part argument starts here as to why this is the worst. Like, not even just finale, but anything.
It was a discourse.
Yeah. Why didn't Janeway head for the wormhole in the Gamma Quadrant? Well, that's a whole other question, but the short answer is that it would take almost as long to get to the wormhole in the Gamma Quadrant as it would to get home. Almost as long, and they would have to go through the Dominion territory and other territory they don't know. So that's why they didn't do that. All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to sign off here for tonight. Thanks for being with us. Sorry, I think I did have one more thing I wanted to share. Just bring that in here. Boom. And we'll play this clip on out as we close out for the evening. Thanks to Ashley and to Adam, and regrets from Murphy and Michael. We hope you'll join us for the finale next week. And if I were stuck in a foxhole, I wouldn't kill either of you guys either.
If we were stuck in a foxhole together, I wouldn't kill you. That is, unless you gave me more of that warm and fuzzy encouragement that I don't need.
That I don't need.
Don't need. Good night.
Disco Discovery. Season 5 review. Discovery. Season 5 review. Discovery. Starfleet in the 32nd century.